In 1933, America made a decision so shocking that it still sounds unbelievable today. The government made it a crime for ordinary people to own gold. Yes, you heard that right. Not just trading it, but simply owning gold became illegal. Gold coins, gold bars, even gold certificates. If you kept them in your home, you could face a fine worth hundreds of thousands of today's dollars and up to 10 years in prison. Overnight, wealth that families had preserved for generations instantly became contraband, and everyone was forced to hand over their gold and receive paper dollars in return. Just imagine the gold your father, your grandfather saved their whole lives, suddenly becoming forbidden. This wasn't a scam. The order came directly from the highest level of government, and it completely changed the direction of the financial system. So why did this happen? Because America was going through the darkest economic period in its history, the Great Depression. By 1933, the country had collapsed. 1 out of every 4 people was unemployed. Banks were failing. Factories were shutting down. People were losing their savings. There was no trust in banks because everyone was trying to withdraw their money and convert it into gold. Back then, the dollar was tied to gold, meaning you could walk in and ask for your money in gold. Millions did exactly that, draining the bank's gold reserves and pushing the entire system to the brink of collapse. And right at that moment, Franklin D. Roosevelt stepped in. The new president had taken over a nation in panic, and he needed a fast, radical move. That move came on April 5, 1933, Executive Order 6102. With this order, owning gold became illegal. People had until the end of the month to deliver their gold to government banks. The government would pay them $20.67 per ounce. The official explanation: we need to save the economy and stop hoarding. But what really happened? One of the largest wealth transfers in modern history. Everyone brought in their gold. Some surrendered family heirlooms, others handed over a lifetime of savings. Some hid their gold, buried it, or kept it secretly, but most people didn't dare risk the punishment. And the painful part? Just 1 year later, in 1934, the government raised the price of gold from $20.67 to $35 an ounce. The dollar instantly lost about 40% of its value. The gold they had taken cheaply from citizens suddenly became far more valuable. In short, the people lost. The government won. It wasn't just about saving the economy, it was rewriting how money works altogether. Gold was removed from citizens' hands, the government's vaults were filled, and the government massively expanded its power to print money. This is how the huge New Deal projects were financed. Banks? They were among the rescued. Because now gold was concentrated in the Federal Reserve, restoring confidence in the system. Meanwhile, some wealthy and well-connected people smuggled their gold abroad or converted it into exempt forms before the order went into effect. Could ordinary people do that? Of course not. The same group lost, the people who had trusted gold their whole lives. The decision was controversial even back then. The issue reached the Supreme Court because many debt contracts of the era were based on gold. When the government seized gold and devalued the dollar, those contracts became meaningless. Creditors sued, but the court, by just 1 vote, sided with the government. This proved something important. In times of crisis, the state can change the rules of money with a single signature. And this was the first major step toward breaking the gold standard entirely. The link between citizens and gold was severed. From then on, the dollar wasn't backed by gold, it was backed by the government's promise. Why does this matter? Because this isn't just a story from the past. The same logic applies today. When the system is threatened, the state will do whatever it takes to save itself. In 1933, gold was confiscated. In 2008, banks received massive bailout packages. In 2013, Cyprus took money directly from people's bank accounts. In 2020, unlimited money printing caused inflation to explode and purchasing power to collapse. And remember, inflation is also a form of wealth confiscation. It just happens quietly. No one comes to your door asking for your gold, but when prices rise faster than your wages, the result is the same. Your savings melt away. Your labor loses value. This is what modern confiscation looks like. So the message of 1933 is crystal clear. Don't assume your wealth is untouchable. Don't assume the rules will last forever. Those rules can change overnight. If gold was once banned, Why wouldn't future governments freeze digital accounts, cut retirement funds, or impose sudden wealth taxes? There's already a precedent. Real wealth isn't just the numbers on a screen. It's the knowledge and skills the state can't erase with a decree. It's assets that retain value even if the monetary system collapses. And most importantly, it's understanding history. So when they try the same trick again, you can recognize it. When they confiscated gold in 1933, they didn't call it theft. They said, "We're saving the country." But who paid the price? As always, the people. History doesn't repeat itself exactly, but it whispers the same warnings again and again. If they took wealth once, they can do it again. If you don't understand the rules, you'll be the one who loses the most when they change. If this gave you a new perspective, subscribe. History has already given the answers. I'm just here to show you where to look.